Hey everybody, this is Willow, and I'm working to help people to wake up. I want to talk to you guys today about something that's happening to a lot of people. Actually, it's happening to everybody, but uh, people are just in different stages of it. And what I'm talking about is waking up spiritually. Now, I think everybody knows that planet Earth and all life forms on planet Earth are waking up and moving into the fifth dimension. Um, Now, when you first start to wake up and you get that glimpse, what happens is you may have an encounter with spirit world. You may get a glimpse of the real world. Now, when you get that glimpse, when you have that first glimpse of the real world, that's really the moment that you awaken, because that's when you actually realize that there's another world out there besides the one that you've always known. So when you first have that first glimpse of the spirit world, that's when you can say that you were awakened. Or in my case, that's when I was awakened. Now, there's a lot of stuff that happens after the first awakening. For a while, you might, everything might be fine, and you're going to have a hunger. So you're going to start your search for more of the truth, because once you get that glimpse of the truth, you want more of it. So that's when you're going to start your search. Now, um, the more you search, the more of the truth. Now, the more of the truth that you search for. Now, it's really up to the individual as to how long it takes them and how far or how serious they get about their spiritual awakening. But for most people, they get that hunger after they first wake up. When they get that glimpse, when they first wake up, they get that hunger for more, and so they start searching for more of the truth. And that was the case with me. And the more truth that you search for, the more that truth is going to chase you. In other words, when you start searching for answers and searching for the truth is going to start chasing you. So at this point, when you get to this point, there's no turning back, because you already know the truth. You've realized the truth. Now you want more of it, and once you start chasing truth, then it starts chasing you. So really, what I'm saying is, once you wake up, there's really no going back. Because it's on. From here on, it's on. You can't go back. Now, you're going to try to go back. Everybody tries to go back. And what I mean by that is, you're going to spend time in the truth. You're going to spend time searching for the truth. You're going to spend time wanting to know how to move into the light or the fifth dimension. You're going to want, but on the other hand, you still got your old world, which is the dream world, that's pulling at you and tugging at you, and that's keeping you distracted from the new world, or your new world. And this is where the battle comes in. This is where all the chaos starts coming in. This is where all the fighting starts coming in. It's because the moment you start searching for the truth and turning to the new world, or turning to the light, then your mind, which is part of the old 3D programming. By the way, our old 3D world, or our dream world, is a program, a 3D program that keeps us enslaved to the system. Okay, your mind, which is also programmed through that same system, does not want you to wake up and move into the truth. Your mind does not want you to know the truth. So once you start knowing the truth, then there's a war that takes place between the mind and the spirit. The mind is going to do everything in its power to keep you over here in the old program. It will fight to the death to keep you in this system. It does not want you to come out of this system. It does not want you to know the truth. It's going to do everything it can to keep you in the system. And you're still going to, it's going to be really confusing for you, because you're going to be going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, because you got God over here, which is what it is. It's God's source that's pulling you and trying to show you the real life that God wants you to have. But then you've still got your old world over here pulling at you, and you say, and it's telling you, well, what do you think you're doing? I mean, you got to go to work, you got to make money, you got to pay your house note, you got to eat, you got to support your kids, you got to take care of your wife, you got all these responsibilities. You can't leave, you can't go. What in the world are you thinking? You can't leave the 3D world. This is where you have all of your time and all of your money and everything invested in this world. You think you can't just leave it. Then you got God saying, yes, you can. Yes, you can. And now you have to, because there's no going back. Okay? You may know this, but you may not know it. You may know it, but it's not registering to you. I mean, you still have not learned how to make that transition from 3D into 5D. And it takes years, folks. It takes years of battling and just going back and forth with the flesh and the spirit until you finally give in. But the point I'm trying to make is, it seems to me like, in the last couple of years especially, that there seems like there's more and more people who are waking up to the truth. And because there is so much chaos, so much fighting going on between family. I have never seen so much fighting going on and with everybody, family members. There's people who have always seemed to get along are now fighting with each other. They're at each other's throats all the time. Everybody's aggravated. Everybody's on edge. And even at work, people are fighting at work. People are losing their jobs. People are losing their homes. But the 3D world's breaking up. That's exactly what's happening. It's breaking up because you can't take it with you. You can't, folks. You can't take it with you. Now, I know it's not a good feeling to know that you have to give everything up, that you've worked for all your life and accumulated all your life. And I'm not trying to say that you're going to have to give up everything, because sometimes things just have a way of falling in line. Certain things, and it's going to depend on the individual. If the individual, if they know what's happening to them, if they know that they're making this shift, and they know that they're waking up, and they know that they can expect a lot of chaos and a lot of breaking up of their 3D world, if they know this is happening, and they just kind of go with the flow and don't resist it, it can be a lot easier on them, and they may not end up losing everything like most people do. But for most people, it's not like that. For most people, and I know in my case, I was fighting. I was fighting to hold on to my job, my home, my family, my son. I was fighting to hold on to all of this because I didn't want to let it go. And when I look back on it, now, if I would have been more acceptable, more accepting of what was happening, and just kind of go with the flow and try to stay calm, and let things unfold like they're supposed to, it would have been a lot easier on me. But at the time, I didn't even know that this was part of my spiritual awakening. I thought it was just the world, attacking me, coming against me, or taking everything away from me. I thought it was just the world and other people. But I know now it was part of my spiritual awakening. So what I'm saying is, there's a lot more people waking up now. And there's a lot more people that are going through the chaos all the hell that breaks loose when you wake up to the truth of what's really out there, and you realize that you've been enslaved in this slave system for all of your life, and you've been controlled. And all you want to do is get out of it. But it's just not that easy to do, because you've got so much invested over here, and you pretty much got nothing on this side except the knowing. You've got the knowing, and that's what you get started with, is the knowing. But there's more. Is this happening to more people? There's going to be more people out there looking for answers, wanting to know what's going on. And the best thing I can say to everybody is go with God, go with God, go with God. Yes, you're still going to have to function in the old 3D world. You're still going to have to work. You're still going to have to pay your bill. You're still going to have to eat. You're still going to have to take care of your kids. And you're still going to have to do all that. And you're still going to have to stay with your family. I'm not saying just give all that up, but I'm saying you're still going to have to do all this, but at the same time, you're still going to have to, God is still going to be pushing you to move, to make that shift. So the shift, I feel like, can be made in a peaceful manner. It doesn't have to be so chaotic. And a lot of the fighting is just us, our egos, not wanting to let go of what we have built for ourselves. But what I've found, that if we stay with God, and we focus on moving into the light, and we don't really let ourselves get caught up in it, which is not easy to do, trust me. If we don't let ourselves get caught up in all the chaos, and just kind of surrender to it, and just let things unfold as they should, stay in meditation, stay in prayer, and stay with God, and let God lead for you. Because for me, I know it went on for years after I first awakened, and I started, everything started disappearing from my life, and I started losing everything. And then I shifted into that dark night of the soul, where I was isolated and still trying to figure out what was going on. It was in those times when God was showing me what He wanted me to do, when He was trying to lead me where He wanted me. But in my mind was telling me, you got to get back out into the 3D world. You got to get back out and get you a 3D job. You got to get back out here and start living your life in 3D again. If you don't, you're gonna die. And so I was up trying to rebuild my old 3D life. But every time I would go out and try to get a job or try to start my life, something would happen. It's like I would hit a roadblock, and then I'd be right back where I started. And so this is the battle. You can't go back. Yes, you're going to try to. You might be able to go back for a little while, for temporarily. You might be able to get you another 3G job. You might stay there for 6 months. You might stay there for a year. But then it's not going to be permanent, because eventually you're going to have to move back into your truth. God's going to move you back into your truth. So something's going to happen in your 3D world that's going to kick you out again. You're going to be out of it again. And you move back into the light. You try to stay there. Then you got other things coming up. You got family. You got bills to pay. You got things coming up over here that you got to deal with. So it's a constant battle, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And it's the way it is with me. That's the way it is with everybody that's waking up. And that's the way it's going to be until we make that complete transition into the light. So this is just to try to help people understand a little bit about what's happening to them, a little bit about what's happening to everybody. But what we got to do, folks, is know what's happening. Know that there's a battle going on between the dark and the light. Know that there's a battle going on between the flesh and the spirit, and that God is calling us home. God is calling us home, and we are fighting Him tooth and nail. We are fighting God. We're fighting God the whole week. We're kicking and screaming the whole way. I know I am. Still want to hold on to my 3D world. And I know that's the case with everybody. But God is calling us home. And we don't want to go. He's even showed us the light. He has gave us glimpses and we have awakened, and he has showed us this new world. And still, in spite of that, we're fighting to hold on to what we've created and what we've built here in the dream. We've got to follow God. We're at a place where we got to make a choice now, folks. We got to follow God. We got to make a choice. Are we going to move into the light and stay there? Or are we going to keep going back and forth from the dark and the light and the dark and the light? How much longer is this going to go on? How much longer are we going to fight with everybody to hold on to what we had? We got to let it go. That's the message. We can't take it with us. We got to let it go. I love you guys. Thanks.